Did Florida State just find its next Johnny Wilson? There's a lot of similarities and size. We'll jump into the new commitment for the Florida State Seminoles. On Thanksgiving, Florida State flips Arizona State JUCO wide receiver commit Jordan Scott. He goes from Kenny Dillingham over to Mike Norvell, a three-star JUCO wide receiver from Southwest Mississippi Community College, 6'7", 215 pounds. During Johnny Wilson's time at Florida State, he was around that range of 6'7" and 235, 237 pounds. So not really the same as in weight size, but certainly length. Jordan Scott brings it to the table here. He actually recently visited Florida State during the Charleston Southern game where he took an official visit. He's ranked as the number 2 JUCO wide receiver in the 2025 class, number 12th overall recruit in the nation for JUCO. He's currently the only wide receiver commit in this 2025 class. As we know, Florida State moving on from Ron Dugans. A lot of work to be done in this recruiting room. We'll get to the end of this video and talk about some of the younger players that we'll see a lot of going into this 2025 season, but Florida State having to do a lot of late work here and trying to salvage definitely some playmakers in the wide receiver room for that young quarterback room with Brock Glenn and Luke Kromenhoek. During his time at Southwest Mississippi Community College, he caught 20 passes for 358 yards and 4 touchdowns. Scott averages 17.9 yards per catch and has 4 grabs of 30-plus yards, including a 62-yard reception. After looking at some highlights earlier before filming this, he's more of a fiery guy, not the same as Johnny Wilson was. Johnny Wilson be a little bit more quiet, not really fiery on the field as much, not trash talking, but this guy is kind of the opposite. Jordan Scott will let you know if he beats you on the route or if he beat you catching the ball. Pretty fun guy to watch on film. Florida State, as we know, looking at Kenny Dillingham and what he's doing at Arizona State as the head coach, they're having a really good season there for the Sun Devils. He and his squad currently sit atop the Big 12 standings at 6-2 and 9-2 overall, 6-2 in conference play, with a chance to actually clinch a spot in the college football playoff with a win over Arizona and a win in that Big 12 championship game. Now, looking at the current roster and the wide receiver room, like I said, going to go a lot into how Florida State replaces Ron Dugans in this room. I know there's a lot of things that FSU fans want to see change, simply just catching the ball. So interested to see what Mike Norvell and the rest of the staff do in bringing in a wide receivers coach. But right now, Jordan Scott is going to be joining a really young wide receiver room of sophomore Destin Hill, who we know did not see the field this last season due to an injury in camp before the season began. And then we have sophomore Hakeem Williams, redshirt freshman Jalen Brown, freshman Camden Fryer, who we haven't been able to see this season as well, dealing with an injury and recovering from, freshman BJ Gibson, freshman LaWayne McCoy, who we've seen here and there throughout the 2024 season, certainly there starting at punt return a little bit here at the latter half of the 2024 season, and freshman Elijah Moore. So interesting pickup for Florida State here in the wide receiver room. Definitely more of a project guy, but certainly they want to bring in that deep threat where you can take those shots just like Florida State had previously with Johnny Wilson.